Hello and welcome to Goa365 Story Behind the Story. Now we have been covering a lot of issues. Last few ones we've gone into politics and because of the various elections. Now again we will be starting, but this one we thought we needed to do in the new year. See, there have been a lot of issues faced by Goa and Goans, whether it is the alarming rate of accidents, fatalities, the general what do you say, dangals which are happening among the people, clashes with tourists, among themselves and various. So ultimately the tip of the spear, as they call, of any administration are its police. One. Second thing is are its the governors, the governance, the authorities. These are the things that we thought we would like to discuss, because there have been a lot of good, bad, ugly reviews over the years of what's happening in our state. To start off, I would like to first introduce our panel, and then we will go in for a we will start immediately. Starting off with Subhashish Bab Goekar, journalist, advocate Siola was, of course, advocate Sanjay Bab Parde, an activist, and the first DIG, Goan DIG in Goa, Bosco Bab George. Bosco, welcome to you. Subhashish, give us a general overview of exactly what is happening around the place, like which you all are seeing on a daily basis, because a lot of people come with you all with complaints, what's happening with it. Overall.
So to start off with, the police are kind of giving a very harsh indicative of insensitivity towards victims. Now when a victim goes to a police station, is already under distress, is already in a confused state as to what he should be doing next. But from what I've seen in cases personally, as well as people who have really tried to approach us to seek help, first is when they approach the police, it is the police who question and grill them first. So they question as to why are victims being under pressure first, rather than actually understanding what the case is. That is one thing. Second is, a lot of people are approaching the media saying that police are not really taking action. Now when someone is going through the legal process and finding no help, why is it that they are approaching the media? Why is it that the police are not taking their due course of action? Why is it that the police are not able to console the victims and assure them that we are here to protect you, we are your servants? So why is it that sort of atmosphere has been created that police are sort of, not really here to help the victims? They are either mainly for protection of, politics, or when there are big events, or just regular traffic movement. But actual policing seems to be lacking, where victims are not finding the confidence to really go and approach the police. That is why you have a lot of settlements that happen outside the process, and usually it is the victims who come out on the losing end of the rope. So it's really hard to understand why this is happening from the police side.
Not only police, you're talking about authorities, right?
Authorities,
generally
yes.
Authorities.
So even like normal cases where they approach officers, they approach clerks, and like they refuse work, or they are questioned on the contrary when they go to file a complaint, they are questioned on that very topic. So they are like, why are we being questioned? So now as a victim, how do I find the confidence to go up and actually voice my concern if I am only going to be at the receiving end ultimately? So if there is no trust on the process, then how is it that society can actually trust the governance, trust the system that has been put into place?
Siola, you have been you are an advocate, and you deal with lots of these things on a regular basis. Leaving the media should actually not be approached for all these things, what I see, and I get lots of calls, let's just say, because my number by hook or by crook somebody has put online, so I get lots of calls. In fact, I have shared some of these things with our people. But do you feel that this is an issue when you approach the authorities, including especially first thing in case of anything, other police or any generally you collectorate, any department?
Yes, indeed. What is happening is it's very unfriendly in general. I can't blame any governance as such for that. It seems that the persons who are occupying positions, maybe it is because they are not actually meritoriously engaged over there, and they have come through some other means. So it appears that they are unable to handle the situation.
Or they feel they are entitled.
entitlement comes, yes, entitlement also, it appears that there is entitlement, and then because they are not good at the job also, they are very defensive. Especially when it comes to the police, maybe I can say 1 or 2 people will be helpful, and we need them to be helpful, because there is a big banner, help, Goa Police help you. but they are extremely unfriendly, and they are very anti-complainant. Now complainants are of 2 types, either they are frivolous or they are genuine, but they have to be taken as genuine. But what I find that the police first only, they approach the complainant as if the case has already reached the court. So they are expecting court standard of evidence on the first day, on the first instance. They are asking complainants, you bring witnesses, instead of themselves going to the spot and instead of themselves going to investigate. They don't want to investigate, they are asking complainants to bring CCTV, complainants to bring witnesses, and this becomes very difficult for a layman. That's why there are laymen, because they require us and they require the police. Apart from that, where I have seen myself, and then the poor thing, these complainants, they have to call lawyers, and then they have to incur all those expenses. The police tells them you'll have to go to court, and they try to instill this fear of courts, as if courts are some extremely harsh place to be. Instill the fear of courts. They tell them that you will be cross-examined, so you better watch, that way. So in this manner, they are discouraging the people directly. Do not complain. Because he must have found that there is some truth to it. And so in this manner, they are discouraging crime reporting. They are discouraging complainants from getting justice. This is from the complainant's point of view. When it comes to accused, should they believe the complainants? If when it comes to the accused, there that entitlement aspect comes, which you have just pointed out, where there is a little bit of violence towards accused persons. And now what I am seeing, which the media is carrying, people are taking law in their own hands.
That is very scary.
I saw one video where some 2 women were beating up one man on allegation of molestation. Might have been true also, because they showed a lot of anguish, these women. But why they had to do that? See, it did not even occur to them that maybe they should phone the police. They have decided to do things of their own. And this will happen. It will continue happening. It's too difficult to talk to the police. So this will continue happening. There is going to be, people are going to take law in their own hands, and you are going to keep seeing more of this pattern.
See, Siala, I'd like to bring you this using will happen. No, it's happening. Now, for example, this is the first time I've seen in so many years, so many instances or incidents of tourists being beaten up so badly on the beaches.
Yes.
Now, we have seen, our reporters have been bringing in visuals that say 1,500 cops on North Goa beaches. I'll bring in Bosco, no doubt, but like, he's been SP North. He's been like, I don't think he's ever gone out with the media on Tito's Lane for a sojourn at 11 o'clock. I was very shocked about what's happening nowadays. And it's not that now, in fact, whatever it is, whatever the government might say, the hotels and restaurants were quite empty this time compared to what it was. Probably the numbers were a lot. But it's already happening. People are getting killed on the beaches. Tourists are getting beaten up. Tourists are basically doing whatever they want. Now, how long are the people going to keep quiet? And if they complain once, they complain twice, nobody's going to listen. Then they will end up taking law in their own hands.
Yes.
And then, I don't know.
Because so also there is a saying,
it's already happening. My point is,
there is a whisper. There is a whisper, and there's a saying: it's better to be accused than to be complainant. Because if you're accused, you can have some liberty. If you're a complainant, you're always under fear. So there is a whisper of this.
That's a very
sad
scary
thing. Yes.
Very scary, not sad. Yeah. संजय बाब, आता तुम्ही आता कितलीच इश्यू काढल्या इन नॉर्थ गोवा, लायक सावंड ते आनी तुम्ही फोन करिता, हेका फोन करिता, तेका फोन करिता, कितें फायदो? लास्ट मागीर मिडियाचेरूच येवंक जाय. कोण आयकना तुमचें?
पळय, आदी पोर्तुगीज टायमाचेर रेडिओ आसतालो. रेडिओ तेजेरसून आमकां बातमी आयकूंक कळटाली. रेडिओचेर जेन्ना लोक आयकतात तेन्ना लोकांक कॉन्फिडन्स नासलो रेडिओचेर. आतां कॉन्फिडन्स कोणाचेर आसा? मिडियाचेर.
Which is not good.
ना, कॉन्फिडन्स मिडियाचेर कितें आसा? पोलीस भाव आमचे आहात, गोंयचेच आसा आमचे भितरसून. ना मेन जे व्हडले साहेब जे आसात, DIG, IG, हे नॉन गोवन आसा. सो आमकां एक बॉस्को सर आसलो न्ही, आतां रिटायर जालो म्हणटा. अशें आमकां गोंयच्या गव्हर्मेंटान एक नवो रूल हाडपाक जाय जी दिल्लीसून जे आय जी येतात DIG येतात व्हडले व्हडले साहेब ते गोंया बद्दल तांकां प्रेम ना. सो गोंयचेच आमचे स्पेसिफीक करपाक जाय, तयार करपाक जाय, गोंयकारांक लागून तयार करपाक जाय. तेन्ना गोंयचे जेन्ना DIG ऑफिस बी आसतलें न्हू तेन्ना खंय तरी आमी आपुलकेन तेंचे कडेन सांगूंक शकता. एक एक्यूज सुद्दां आसा ताका सुद्दां पुलीस व्हडले साहेब सुद्दां सांगूंक शकता तूं असो चुकता, खरें उलोवपाक जाय. पूण आमच्या मनान कितें आसा गोंयान आयज जे आमचे PI आसा PSI आसा, फॉर एग्जाम्पल तुमकां हांव हालींचेच सांगता, बाणस्तारी एक्सिडंट जाल्लो तो, बाणस्तारी एक्सिडंट जाल्लो. बाणस्तारी एक्सिडंटान एकटो ते तीग जाण एक्सपायर जाल्ले, भितरलो एकटो जाणटो आसलो, तेजो एक घरांतलो एक दुसरो आनी आसला, खूब बायलां पिड्ड्यार जाल्ली. तेंचो चेडो एकटो पुलीस आसलो, पुलीस. मागीर तो पुलीस आसल्या कारणान तेजेर प्रेशर हाडलो.
Sanjay Bab, I'm going for a small break. I'll start with you as soon as we come back. We are going in for a small break. Keep watching. Welcome back. Wait, Sanjay Bab.
सो तेन्ना आमचे गोंयचे ते कोणी एक्सपायर जाल्ले आनी तेंचो एकटो चेडो पुलीस आसलो. तो वास्को कामाक आसलो, खंय तरी म्हाका दिसता मिडियान हेतून आसलो, सायबरान कितें तरी कामाक आसलो, कसले तरी डिपार्टमेंटान आसलो. तेजेर व्हडल्या साहेबांनी प्रेशर हाडलो, तूं जो स्टेटमेंट दिवं नाका, तो भियालो आपलो जॉब आसात म्हणून. परत रिसंटली ते दिसा अक्षय एक्सिडंट जाला. अक्षय कोण आमचो गोंयचेच कोण ते भुरगे भायरसून येयल्ले, खंय तरी तेंच्यांनी पार्टीक आसले, पार्टीक पिवन ते येयले का ना खबर ना. पूण एक राजेश नायक आनी तेजी धाकटुले चेडूं एकटे 3 वर्साचे ऑन द स्पॉट पिड्ड्यार जाली. तेजी आई आसली भुरग्याची न्ही, तिजो पांय मोडला आनी ती एकदम असले क्रिटिकल कंडिशनान आसा. पूण जालां कितें, तेजो भाव सुद्दां एकटो पुलीस आसा, राजेश नायकाचो. आतां पळय, पयलीं एक्सिडंट जाल्लो बाणस्तारी, तेंचो कोण तरी एकटो पुलीस आसलो, तेणी तोंड उगडूंक ना. आतां हेजो एक भाव पुलीस आसा. आतां पुलीसूच भाव आमचे जर आसा, आपल्या भावाचें स्वताचें रक्षण करूंक शकना, तर पुलिसांचेर विश्वास आमी दवरपाक शकता. पूण DIG ऑफिसर जे व्हडले व्हडले आसतात न्ही, तेंचे प्रेशर हाडटा, भायले ते नॉन गोवन ते. पूण आमकां तेजेरसून आमकां पुलिसांचेर आयज आनी गोंयचो CM होम मिनिस्टर म्हणून आसा न्ही, गोंयचो CM होम मिनिस्टर हे नात्यान गोंयाक लागून काम करिना. वयले DIG जे थरयतात म्हणजे मनासून जें कितें आसा तेंचें तो आयकता. पूण हेतूनसून आमकां गोंयच्या लोकांक इनजस्टीस मेळटा न्ही. आमचे भाऊच जर पुलीस
भरवसो ना, कितें प्रॉब्लम जाय जाल्यार पळय आतां आमी आतां बॉस्कोक आनी कितलेच तेंचे वांगडी आशिल्ले ते उमेश गांवकर, महेश गांवकर, हे तेंकां लोक चलता तेन्ना लोक भिताले. ते आय डोंट नो इफ यू नो वन डे एक दीस हांव एग्जाम्पल सांगता बॉस्कोचे, एक दीस म्हापसा न्हू एक एजिटेशन आसलेली आनी हांव आनी म्हाजो फोटोग्राफर थिंगा हाजीर आशिल्ले. आनी बॉस्को तेन्ना आय थिंक नॉर्थ गोवा SP आशिल्लो, नो SDP ना SP आशिल्लो. ही आनी हिज बॉडीगार्ड आसले आनी फूल बॅटेलियन ऑफ पुलीस आहा थंय. आनी आमी आहा हिंगा सायडीक आनी ते सायडीन फातोर मारपाक रेडी केले, चालू केले फातोर. आनी हांवें हेल्मेट घातलेलें, म्हाज्या फाटीर एक फातोर मारलो. अरे सडनली हाय हर्ड ढप 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 ढप. हे दोगूय ओ आनी तेजो बॉडीगार्ड 200-300 मॉब ओ एकलो आनी हे मॉब असले पुलीस आमचे गोंयकार पुलीस आशिल्ले. आमी पळयल्या कित्याक आमी क्रायम केले. आनी तूं म्हणटा आतां पुलिसा कडेन कांय जायना गोंयांत सॉर्ट आउट करपाक?
पुलिसां कडेन जायना न्हू, पुलिसां कडेन कॅपेसिटी आसा.
मागीर
आसा फॉर तूं एग्जाम्पल आमकां सांगलें.
रिमेंबर दीस इन्सिडेंट इन म्हापसा.
Francis was there.
नो एलन डिसा, यू आर टेकन नेम एलन डिसा.
एलन ऑल्सो, yes.
उमेश गांवकर, ते जेन्ना तेंचो भंय आसलो, आतांचो
पुलिसाचो भंय आसलो तेन्ना,
पुलिसांचो भंय आसलो.
तेंचो
आतां बॉस्को साहेब जे आसले म्हणटा न्ही, हे गोंया बद्दल जे गोंयकार जे व्हडले व्हडले साहेब न्हू आसता न्ही, ते कंट्रोल करूं शकता.
कारण ते कर्तव्य कोत्ताले न्हू तेंचे, पुलिसाचे कितें कर्तव्य ते कोत्ताले न्हू ते.
आतां एक सांगू तुमकां हांव,
सांगा
गोंयकारांक कळपाक जाय की आतां पुलिसांची ड्युटी सकाळची 8:30 स्टार्ट जाता सकाळची, बरोबर न्ही. 8:30 टू दुसरे दिसा सकाळी 8:30 तांचें सोंपता. आतां कितें जालां, जे पुलीस स्टेशनाचेर अख्ख्या गोंयान जे काम करता, वॉट एवर अख्ख्या इंडियेन 8:30 ड्युटी जॉयन करतात आनी परत 8:30 सोंपता. इन बिटवीन दॅट मदीं जो एक्सिडंट जर कोणाचो जालो, आतां आमी कशें म्हणटा गिरायक घेवपाक जाय, नुस्तें घेवन कशें बसता न्ही, एक्सिडंट जाता न्ही, एक्सिडंट जाता काय वाट पळयता, पूण चोरता काय वाट पळयता. पुलिसांच्या हातीन तूं येयलो काय ना मागीर थंय सेटींग. आनी सेटींग जाले उपरांत हे वयले जे व्हडले साहेब जे आसा न्ही, उडय रे भितर म्हणटा तेका. आनी पोलीस म्हणजे कितें आसा आमचे गोंयच्या वॉट इज द मिनींग ऑफ POLIC ताका कितें तरी मिनींग आसा न्ही. सो आमचें तरी मत आसा. आतां साहेब जे आसा हांगा बसलेले आसा न्ही, हे मिडियाच्या माध्यमांतून आमी गोंयकारांक सांगूंक करता. जो होम मिनिस्टर जो आसा न्हू तो सारको गोंयकारांक सारको आसपाक जाय. आतां तुमी रिसंटली पळयल्यात हांव टॉपिकाचेर म्हणजे ते फाटल्या दिसांनी जॉब स्कॅम जाले. पुलिसांनी कितें केलें, पुलिसांक एकूच मेळोंक ना,
कितल्याच भितर उडयले मरे.
भितर उडयले पूण सुटले कशे
कोण सुटोंक ना.
पळय ना तांकां बेल कशी मेळटा काय म्हणटा ऑन द रिकॉर्ड.
Anyway,
सर
ते job-
2 मिनटां ऑन द रिकॉर्ड
रिप्लाय तरी दिवन दी पळय. कितले आरोप केला त्या पोलिसाचेर.
ऑन द रिकॉर्ड जेन्ना सत्यपाल मालिक जी सांगता, सत्यपाल मालिक जी ऑन द रिकॉर्ड व्हिडिओन सांगता हांवें व्हरोन प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडियाक कॅसेट दिली, गोंयचे सीएमाची बायल पयशे मागता, गोंयचो सीएम पयशे मागता, तेतून गोंयचे सीएमाक जर प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडियान कॉल आउट केल्ले आनी ती बायलेक जर सांगलेले आनी पोलीस व्हडले व्हडले न्यूट्रल ऑफिसर बसयल्ले कोण हे जे आमचे ऑफिसर बसयल्ले न्ही, सीएमाचे बायलेक आज पासून कित्याक लागून ती FIR जावंक ना.
Okay, anyway, that is besides the point. We will have another discussion on that a little later. Otherwise, you will change the full topic of the discussion. Bosco, leaving this last part, what is it that you feel that is an issue?
See, Glenn, what happens?
You've been operating and you've just not only sat in the AC cabins, so as to say.
No, what I'm trying to say, Alan, Glenn, is the police becomes the face of the establishment.
Correct.
Any part of the day, any part of the night, it is only that department that is available.
Correct.
And I agree with the panelists that we have shortcomings, but they are not insurmountable. And leadership plays a very important role in these things. There's no doubt about it. The minute your staff knows what you are, automatically there is a change in attitude and all. You have to convey it to them. And see, the policing system which we had, with all this technology and all coming, we have lost it. Like we used to have something called every week when we were there, like there was something we used to have Sampark Sabha. So it is at that time that your staff, the lowest staff, should have the opportunity to meet the senior most officer and express his grievance. I used to have it like every Friday. Whoever it may be, whether his TAD is stuck up somewhere, whether he has a problem somewhere. So these things show the leadership. Unfortunately, and there was time for all these things. Today we are working on a very ad hoc basis. Today this is the emergency. You run there. The other person is actually
so
forgotten.
Systems have broken down basically. Looks as if
over this thing. I mean, we have not been able to cope up with these emerging situations which have just sprung up. Let's take now tourism as the thing. What is Goa's population and what is coming in? Does the roads of Goa have the carrying capacity for it?
Why only for vehicles?
No, I'm just putting the vehicle.
So carrying capacity of people sleeping on the roads.
No,
do they have that capacity for that?
My one this thing would have been, at least during the month of December and all, don't allow any outside vehicles to come. Goans themselves, we are suffering.
Yeah.
Don't allow the outside vehicles, especially the buses and all that are coming. No, don't come. I mean, we can put these restrictions because then you will get quality tourists. If you get this kachra mal,
you're talking Rohan's language. No, the quality tourists.
No, I'm sorry. But
I agree.
You have to work out. You go to Europe, suddenly when they realize that the tourists coming from India and all these countries too much, they just stop issuing visas. Why don't we do? We are not doing any discrimination. Month of December and all is massive. How are you going to do this thing?
Why? I don't understand. With all that confusion and that crowd, why sunburn is brought in December? It could be held any other time of the year when it is in the rains, like monsoons. Put something in.
Yeah. So I mean, and at that point of time, the police are. I mean, it's asking too much to put on them. And yes. You feel you are at the receiving end. The complainant does feel he is at the receiving end, but then after the mechanism is not there to really. And okay, if he is not listening, you go to the next higher authority. Somehow the next higher authority is busy with so many other things. Yes,
No,
there
but
is
you,
this thing.
Bosco, what happens? You go to the next high authority, no doubt. But then when he calls you, you yell at the victim again. Why you went there? Are,
No, no.
What's your problem, man? Why you went there? Tu kaun hai tar par? Are one of some issue happened with some guy from South Goa. He went to his lawyer. The guy yelled at him. Why you have to go to the lawyer? You should come and I would have settled it.
And like Barde Bab said, see, somehow Goa being such a small thing, we can't increase the cadre also. We can't even have a independent cadre.
cadre.
That is a real
not
problem.
possible.
But you're absolutely right. A person who see, why I don't want to give the people who come from Delhi as example. I give my own example. I was posted in Arunachal. What will I have affinity to that state?
Gold.
Because I'm a Goan. I have everything. I will not. I will feel. I have to cut off my time and go back to this thing. See, it is a bachelor. It's not against any officer. But then after he even feels like he's been dumped, and you never get the best qualities. You'll always get the rejects.
Yeah.
Even it's him during the time of the British. When they sent the governor generals and all over here, it was always the worst.
Punishment person. I don't know, but I think many of these IPS officers love Goa, man. They
So is
who are
Goa a
they?
punishment position?
It used to
Holiday,
be maybe,
yeah.
but
Now
nowadays it's a holiday
Holiday
destination.
destination. Because then you can go to all the nightclubs and all in the night, no Phuket. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I want to. Subhashish, I want one specific thing from you, and like last 2 minutes of this segment. So, Siola and you. Now, leadership. This is something on what Bosco spoke about. This, I mean, wherever you go now, whether it is in Burday's former like party, Congress, or whether it is with the governance, or whether it's the police, whether it is any media house, or ultimately 80% of everything, it depends on system, 40-50%, but also leadership. You feel that because of this leadership lacunae in the police and wherever, the government and wherever, is why there is a crisis of confidence among the people, or basically work does not get done. I don't know what is it
I
according
mean,
to
it's obvious. It's always the top down. So, like, if the top is not firm and very visionary in what exactly they expect, like Sir said, the bottom will never, really buck up to that level or that expectation. Like, if suppose your higher up, your department is accused of something. Now, if your higher ups itself are being accused of something very bad or something that is really staining the image of your entire department or company or whatever you are representing, obviously you will, in the face of the public, you will also be facing the brunt of it. So at that ground level, if they are demotivated, if they are not given that sort of assurance or the guidance, so guidance also is a very important thing that people...
Guidance or backing also, no?
Backing, yes. So people do make mistakes. I mean, that is something...
Of course, mistakes
it's
happen.
human nature.
Yeah.
So even if a mistake does happen, it's the way how you take that up and how exactly you are really treated. How is it your superiors back you? If you are again punished and you are not taught the right way, then again, it's bound to happen. So again, that is something that supervision should really, that backing and that motivation to really keep going despite the hurdles that come towards you.
Okay, we'll have to go in for a small break. I will start off with Siola and then Bosco, you when we come back. This has been interesting, but also crisis of confidence is there, I think, in the general governance, in lots of departments, and besides all the promises and everything, whatever the election rhetoric, ultimately on the ground level what is happening is also important. We are finding that could possibly be an issue, and why, let's look into these details in the second half. Keep watching Goa 365.